Hello and welcome to another Thoughtful Tuesday with me, Rohini. So, this Tuesday, I have questions in reference to different age groups and different areas of life. What do I mean by that? Let me tell you. So, the title, as you must have already noticed, is Being a Winner versus Loser. Now, this is a thought that has crossed our minds several times. Each of us has always thought at least once in our life about this one point, thinking about oneself as a winner or thinking about oneself as a loser. When we do not achieve something, we feel like a loser. Maybe right, maybe not, but we do feel, right? And when we achieve something, we feel like a winner. Okay, so the questions were, I feel like a loser at work. I feel I have failed as a parent. I'm a loser as a parent. And a similar question from a little younger generation, a teenaged generation, that I feel that I am a loser as a child. So basically, the tone in the relationships is, I am not good enough. Because in a relationship, how can one really define a winner or a loser? But I still decided to club it along with the workplace as well because the words were used similarly. So we will definitely talk about this point as well. So feeling like a loser at work. Yes. When we are pursuing a goal or perhaps a study, there we may feel like a loser sometimes if we do not achieve it. So let us consider, what is this feeling of being a loser or a winner? First and foremost, let us begin with understanding why. Why do I feel like a winner or why do I feel like a loser? So, my dear friends, before we even proceed to answer, think about it while I just give you a little example. Okay? So, have you seen a hand pump? Most villages have a hand pump. And some cities also, on the outskirts, they do have these hand pumps where you need to pump and pump and pump till the water actually comes out of this hand pump. It's not as easy as just, turning a tap or just flipping up a tap and having the water run. So one really needs to make an effort. Now, depending on how deep down the water is in that particular pump, it will depend how many times you need to pump it. Now, what happens? Sometimes you may have to pump it 10 times for the water to actually come out. Sometimes 15, sometimes 20, totally depending on the hand pump and where it is placed or where it is located, on what kind of water source that hand pump is located. Now, in this example of a hand pump, now if this hand pump needs to be pumped for at least 15 times for the water to come out. So what happens? Every time you pump, the water level starts rising in it. Okay? So 15 times when you pump it, and the 16th time you can use the water. The water will come out of the tap. Okay? Now, my dear friends, consider this one thing. If you give up on the 14th attempt, do you realize what happens? If you give up on the 14th attempt, all the effort that you have put in for the 14 times is wasted. Had you just tried it couple of more times, you would have had the desired result. But you gave up the moment you were going to get your result. You were so close to the result. But you did not have the patience to take those couple of more steps to enjoy your victory. Now let us relate this example to all the questions that I just read out to you. Now, what happens in relationships? First, I'll speak about the relationships because then achieving the goal in the workplace is much like the water pump example. It's pretty much simpler. Now, in relationship, I would like to ask the parents who have asked me, why do you feel like a loser as a parent? So, some parents have actually answered. They feel like a loser because their child is back answering, their child doesn't respect them, the children do not respect them, the children are selfish, they're all interested in their own gadgets, their own comfort, and things like that. And that is the reason why the parents feel that they have failed as parents because they could not inculcate values in their own children. Now, why do the children feel same? The children, sometimes, in some instances, the children see the efforts of the parents. They actually see, and the parents' expectations are pretty high of them. And they are not able to fulfill those expectations. And then they feel like a loser. And they feel that no matter what they do, the parents will not be pleased. Now, can you see this dynamic, my dear friends? The parents are feeling the same about the children, and the children are also feeling the same. And now, what happens is, to keep this going, in many of the relationships, there is this dynamic of emotional blackmail. So, when one feels like a loser, one also puts in some extra elements in it. Extra elements like emotional blackmail. How many times have you heard your own family members, your spouse, your children, your parents, the elders in your family, the youngers in your family, your friends, threatening you or emotionally blackmailing you, saying, it would be much better to die than to be around you, than to be called your daughter or your son, than to be called your parent, than to be your friend. So this is the part of emotional blackmail, my dear friends. How many of you remember these old Hindi movies where if the parents wanted to get their son or daughter married, they would feign the heart attack. And then the family members had to oblige. Now, why am I bringing this here? Because in so many ways, my dear friends, we really try to blackmail our own family members and do not set boundaries. And because we do not set these boundaries, we feel like a loser. We feel like a loser because we feel manipulated. And we feel helpless and we feel we cannot do anything about it. Another point is, another thing is, one thing could be the emotional and physical abuse. That could also be a situation where one might feel like a loser. Because no matter what they do, the abuse continues. In this case, my dear friends, one must definitely seek help. And in case of emotional blackmail, threatenings, if you do not comply to my wishes, if you do not do as I wish, I will die. It is better for me to die than see you not listening to me. If you are doing it as a child, if you're doing it as a parent, if you're doing it as a spouse, if you're doing it as a friend, if you're doing it in any relationships, my dear friends, you really need to watch. And if you are at the receiving end, if any family member is doing that to you, my suggestion would be, please set boundaries. Crystal clear boundaries, because most of the time, these are mere words, baseless words. And if they are not, if your loved ones, supposed loved ones, are not allowing you to be the true you within reason, then it is better to put a distance between the relationships, no matter what the relationship. Sometimes one also needs to draw clear boundaries around their own children. Sometimes parents give in too much, trying to please their children so much that the children have not now gotten used to it. So as parents, one must really define boundaries, or as people, we all must really define the boundaries. Are we the people, or do we have people in our life who are continuously blaming something else or somebody else for their problems? Then, my friends, they definitely fall in the loser category, because a loser will always find something else or someone else to blame for why they cannot do something. So the first two cases of emotional or physical abuse and emotional blackmail might be valid reasons, but other than those are mere excuses, my dear friend. Maybe the relationship, maybe the goal that you're trying to achieve is not as important as you think it is for you. You might want to rethink. Because winners, my friends, will have all the reasons to achieve it. And losers will give all the excuses why they cannot achieve it. So which side of the fence are you? Which side of the fence are you on? They will give 1,000 excuses about how they did not have the resources, how they did not have the backup, how they did not have the support. And winners, in spite of every limitation, in spite of every fear, in spite of every obstacle, will put one foot in front of the other and continue till they reach the destination without giving an excuse. They will simply put their head down and do what needs to be done, instead of looking around for excuses. For excuses as to why a particular thing cannot be done. So I would really like you to ponder or share this video with someone who's been giving excuses, and also share it with someone you know in your life who is a winner, who in spite of all the problems brightens up the space around them and perseveres. Applaud these winners. We have seen in the past so many examples. There will be people who have all the resources, and then we see some children who have come in the board exams, who have studied under the street light, who have studied from the scrap that people have thrown away, who have persevered, who have found a way. And we love such stories, don't we? Let us look around ourselves. And the winners will go the extra mile to pump that hand pump 16 times or 20 times if required, without giving up. Even when people are laughing at their efforts, ridiculing them, telling them that their efforts are futile. It is of no use. There is no point. The winners will still persevere. And the losers will give up at the first step, maybe. Or maybe just before they're about to reach the finishing line. So this is what I really wanted to discuss. So today, my dear friends, I really want you to ponder over, what side are you on? What side on you are? What side are you on? The one who gives excuses, or the one who uses the excuses as the fire to propel them ahead? I would like you to choose, because whatever you choose, my dear friends, is what you will see in your own lives. So please do not think that you are a loser as a parent. Do whatever a parent needs to do. Sometimes as a parent you'll need to be firm, sometimes you'll need to be loving. Sometimes you'll have to show some tough love. Sometimes you'll have to let go. As children, sometimes you'll have to let go of the ego. Again, my favorite explanation of ego by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. EGO, ego, edging God out. When we are edging God out of our lives, now God is that higher self, that nicer self that resides within us. That self that is willing to forgive, willing to give second chances to people around us. So what do you choose? Do you choose that person, or do you choose to hold on to all the negativity? Because to the children, I would like to say, your parents are not superhumans. They are simple humans. They're trying to do their best. And to the parents, I would like to tell the parents, your children have observed your imperfections and tried to derive whatever they can from their understanding. So please have a dialogue, set boundaries, clarify what will be tolerated, what will not be tolerated, and you abide by it as well. All the parties, with mutual respect, with mutual understanding, anything can be sorted. Anything. But there has to be this mutual respect. Again, this will not apply to the cases of emotional or physical abuse. But most of the cases, it certainly will. And I hope it applies to you. And I hope you will really think about it. And to all those people who have asked me, because mostly I got the loser questions, okay? You are not a loser. You are not a loser till you give up, my dear friends. The game is only over when you stop trying. So please continue trying in your relationships, in your work, at your workplace. Take baby steps. This is not a competition. Life is not a competition. We are not competing with each other. First and foremost, let us understand this. Let us hold ourselves to our own high standards. If I can sleep peacefully at the end of the day, that I have achieved what I wanted to achieve, that should be enough. That should be enough. So my dear friends, whoever you are, wherever you are enough, just as you are. And whatever it takes, whatever image of winning that you have decided in your own mind, work towards it. It is not impossible. You will consider yourself a winner only when you achieve that particular image that you have in your mind. So if I'm a student and I'm happy with 70%, then if I achieve 70%, I'm a winner. But if I'm a student who feels that I must score 98%, then even at 96%, I'm not very happy. And I know kids who are not very happy at 96%. So work towards whatever it is, my dear friends, and yet be gentle and kind to your own self. Because this is not a race. This is not a rat race. We are all here to live the best lives that we can. So please decide for yourself where you are. You know where you are. You know where you're giving excuses. You know where you can work and yet you're giving excuses. So just be true to yourself, my dear friends. When you are true to yourself, you are a winner. And you will surely then reach whatever goal you have decided for yourself. You are a loser only if you give up. And I hope that you do not give up on yourself, because, my dear friend, you are enough. So please have the best lives. Please be nice and kind to oneself and the people in your lives, my dear friends. That is all we need to understand as humanity. I hope this video or my personal rant has been of some use to someone, because it all boils down to what kind of people we are. And we are all human beings, remember that. And we are all perfect just as we are. I hope this has been useful to you. Please do share it with someone you feel needs to hear these words. Do like it, do like the video. It makes me feel happy. It helps me to keep doing what I do. Please do subscribe so that you will be notified whenever I come up with new videos. And do let me know. Until we meet again, please keep shining with loads of love and a sprinkle of stardust. Rohini. Thank you.